Welcome to all in attendance here. Spss, which is statistical package for social sciences, is one of the most used statistical analysis tools in different fields of social sciences. And I assume that any researcher in academia and in domains like economics is required to master at least its basics in order to be able to take the research journey. Thus, I'm quite certain that the professor's workshop would be of an immense benefit for us as researchers and for our students. So I will give the floor for the professor to start.
Thank you, Professor Fsjes. What she forgot to tell you is that we were classmates in the master's program. It used to be called Visa, so we were two disasters. Okay. So thank you for the interest that you have nourished in this meeting. And I would like to let you know that just in case there is a point perhaps that you do not understand or you have difficulty understanding, all that you need to do is ask me to stop and repeat. And if you have a question that you would like to ask in any other language means French and Arabic, and Tarifit, because I speak Tarifit, that's all. Okay, nice. So our meeting today will be basically an introduction to SPSS and how to use it to conduct a piece of research that is quantitative, of course. Probably you all know that there are two major approaches to conducting research. La démarche qualitative, la démarche quantitative, the qualitative approach, the qualitative approach and the quantitative approach. And the main difference is that when we speak of a quantitative approach, this means that our results, that the evidence that we have, that our results, our conclusions are based on numbers. Numbers. So you are in the field of economics and you know about the language of numbers, okay, in terms of percentages or in terms of other forms, okay? Now, before introducing the software SPSS, which is the statistical, which stands for the statistical package for social sciences, there is something that we need to say about variables and their types. Fine. Is the message clear so far?
Yes.
No problem?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about the notion of a variable. Professor Meknes, if it is possible for you to put the link to the link page right there, to also my page, and also that so that our friends can follow us. Okay, so what is a research variable? And why do we speak about variables in the first place? Why do we need to talk about variables? علاش variable? We need to talk or to speak in terms of variables because the phenomena that we study are so complex that we cannot deal with them, we cannot describe them in all their aspects. For example, we have the notion of competence or academic competence. Academic competence has a number of aspects. How can we characterize an academically competent student? For instance, is it just in terms of the grades that they get? There are students who learn, thank you very much. There are students who learn their lessons by heart, but are they competent? Not necessarily. So we need to look at competence from multiple sides. Yes, grades, maybe attendance, the ability to express thoughts, the ability to express ideas, the ability to analyze, the ability to synthesize, and so on and so forth. So these are different aspects of a variable. But that's the point, that's a message to you. You know, you will soon, inshallah, end up being doctoral students, and you will, face problems like these. When we deal with a phenomenon, we need to understand that we are unable to deal with it in one study, taking into account all the aspects. So we isolate certain characteristics of a behavior, like consumer behavior, since you are in economics, in marketing, for example. You see? The psychological, maybe a psychological aspect of the consumer. So here we need to think of what to study and what not to study. We have to be aware of the things that we will explore and the things that we will not explore. Why? For the simple reason that no single phenomenon is treated holistically in a piece of research. So we need to break it into manageable chunks. Student X will deal with aspect X and Y. Student maybe Y will deal with aspect Z and L, etc. Fine? So these characteristics that what we isolate, that we submit to a study, is what we refer to as variables. Now let me not theorize more on this. Let me just express this idea that variables are of different types. Is it audible enough like this?
Yeah.
Or is it better to keep this? That's the professor. That's Professor. So you may take over. You may take over the ensuring that it's. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to the notion of variable and their types. In this group, in this class, or this amphitheater, mini amphitheater, we have two types of human. Other are female. Fine. Just two categories. No 4 or 5 categories. Probably in other species, we don't know. Some extraterrestrial species, Spss, we don't know. But here, what is commonsensical? Some might think about the in between and in Morocco we have to. We believe that there are two. Okay, nice. So this is one variable. This is a variable that we refer to as gender, and because look at this. Because gender involves only two levels, A and B, here we cannot take one aspect of gender. You got that? So when we speak of gender, it means that there are. Compare this variable of gender with the variable of income. Income means le revenu. Le revenu et le genre, comme deux variables. Okay? On ne les traite pas de la même façon. Pour le genre, on a deux niveaux, mâle, femelle. Mais pour le revenu, on a une autre façon de voir, okay? Parce que, imaginons qu'on est des fonctionnaires. If we are public employees, or anyway, employees, different elements will have different salaries. It's not like gender. Why am I saying this? I am saying this to tell you that that variables exist in different ways. You know, that we have different types of variables. Different types of variables. Some variables, ladies and gentlemen, are clearly defined. A priori. Gender, male, female. Just imagine I want to measure, since you are in the field of marketing and economics in general, so you have all these fields,
management. So let's talk about mobile type preference, smartphone type preference. You see, what are the two major candidates? Samsung, iPhone. But we have other categories. Give me some well-known. Redmi, and Huawei, huh? Xiaomi. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you know, can we have an infinite number of phones? No. Can we have a phone? Look at this. Look at the income, for example. Let's say 2,000 dirhams. Maybe. No, let's $2,000. Yeah, $2,000. Can we say 2,000 and a half? Can someone have $2,500? Yes. Can we speak of a phone and a half? No. Can we speak about a female and a half? We can, but that's just in the figurative sense of the term, just to say that she's strong and she's not like you. Okay? So here we have two types of variables. We have a variable like gender, like maybe iPhone type. These variables are, the elements of these variables are discrete. 1, 2, 3, etc. But income, no. Income 2, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 5, 3, etc. Okay. So the variable, I'm sorry, I cannot keep it all the time, but it's fine, it's fine. I think my throat is, strong, anyway, we are talking here about, so let's talk about the first type of variable, which is known as categorical variable. Gender is a categorical variable. Why is it categorical? It's a categorical variable because inside it we have categories. Category 1, category 2. Fine? Category 1, male, category 2, female. With respect to income, le revenu, we don't have categories. It's continuous. You see? $2,000, $2,100. Let's speak in terms of dirhams. 8,000 dirham, 8,250 dirham, 8,900 dirham, 8,920 dirham. You got that? Yeah. So here, this is different. So income is certainly not a categorical variable. Gender is a categorical variable. Let's explore this. How many of you come from Meknes? Yeah, very good. How many of you come from Azrul? 8%. Very good. How many of you come from Khnifa? Look at this. You see? So we have cities now. Let's imagine we would like to explore in our research phone preference, let's say, phone preference or any other. Let's say phone preference. Phone preference and the city of origin. Here, the city of origin is a categorical variable. In the category. Okay, we call it categorical. Can I write here? Categorical variable. Categorical means inside it we have categories. City of origin is a categorical variable. 3 students from Khnifa, 4 students from Azul, 5 students from Meknes, these are categories. Yes or no? Good. But for income, for grades, for age, this is a different type of variable. We'll talk about that. Is that clear? Nice. Now, when we would like to measure, this is important, when we are conducting research, we have a questionnaire, for example. We have collected data, we have collected data from different people, and we would like to, at the main point, we would like to transform that data into numbers. علاش؟ Because the software, because Fsjes or any other software that you use for meta-analysis, it does not understand our language. It does not understand the English paragraphs. No. It understands numbers only. Its language is the language of numbers. Which means that the variable of gender, when we enter information about the year, the software we will have, we will work on it. We have a case here. We need to use just numbers and to tell this computer, the software, that, for example, henceforth, désormais, le chiffre 1, okay, that refers, that number 1 refers to male, but number 2 refers to female. So we talk to the computer just in terms of numbers. فهذا la variable اللي كنسميوها la variable category أو the categorical variable. The numbers, this is very important, the numbers serve the purposes of categorizing. When I say for gender M, we give it 1, and F,
Thank you.
Okay. Is it, before we embark on further steps, with our data analysis, is it okay to swap? Is it okay to choose, for example, to give 2 to N and 1 to F? Doesn't change anything. Yes. Because the numbers here, that's very important, the numbers here do not have any mathematical significance. 1, 2, it's like putting colors on them so that we can distinguish them. Okay? So this is a categorical variable. We say that the measurement for this, we call it nominal scale. Une échelle nominale. Nominal scale, show me nominal scale. Nominal scale means that if you have 7 elements and you use 7 numbers, but these numbers are used just as a definition. You are not saying that 6 is better than one that has 6, is better than the one that receives 4 or that receives 3. We are not talking about magnitude. You see? 7 is not any better than 6, and 6 is not any better than 4, and so on and so forth. Right? So, هنا كنهضروا nominal scale variable. Right? Another way of saying nominal scale, we also call it categorical scale. Hi. Nominal / categorical, it means one thing. It means that we are using numbers just to separate elements. Is that okay? Yes. Good. Let's quickly, before we have a hands-on experience on the software, let's go to the other. So I have other measurement scale. 4. We have this one. Sorry. We are talking here about variables. Here we talk about measurement scales. Let me summarize it for you. Measurements. Measurement scales. Different ways of measuring. Comment mesurer un comportement, un phénomène. Comment mesurer une variable. Du moment qu'on a des différents types de variables, bien sûr, on les mesure de façon différente. Dépendant du type de variable en question. Okay? So, measurement scales. Number 1, on en a parlé, donc c'est une variable catégorique. Okay? C'est l'échelle. Okay? So, nominal, l'échelle nominal. Nominal de l'échelle nominale, question refaite, ce qu'il faudrait retenir, c'est le fait que le chiffre n'a pas de signification mathématique. C'est juste pour vous donner des catégories. D'où le mot catégorie. Alright? Good. I'm sorry for this code switching. Sorry. You know, it's just to make sure that the things are understood in nice. Okay. Number two, and this is an example. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just imagine that we are in a competition here. We are in a competition. Someone gives us a test, and our grades have to be ranked from 0 to 20. Is that right?
Yes.
The student who receives 20 is the... Yes. We are also doing some learning work here. The student who receives 20 is the...
Best.
Very good. Say it again.
The best. Is the best.
The best. Very good. The top. Top. Very good. What is it? The first. Very nice. Do you know that there is an expression that we use for this? Let me check if they know it or not. If you are the first in the classroom, among your friends, you have 20 and the rest have 18 down. You are, let me show, you are, can I help you with the expression? It starts with head. You are head and, say it. Head and what? Yeah, very good. Arm down. See? It's not called head and shoulders.
It's you.
If you say to someone, you are head and shoulders. Surprise. It's the expression that we use. You are head and shoulders. We say to someone that okay. When you say to someone that you are head and shoulders, donc l'expression complète c'est head and shoulders above the rest. Above the rest. Or you are simply head and shoulders. Very famous expression. That we used to say you are the best. Not just anything. Alright? So it's not that you are right. Okay. Thank you. Now, if we have the first one, the one who is head and shoulders, we say that he or she is the first. Right? So we have, look at this. The first. Let's imagine that for the first, we give the first student number 1. When you want to enter this on the computer. الأول كان أعطوه رقم. Yes or no?
Yes.
نشوفوا مثلا first as a category. Second. Third. 3. It's X.
Yes.
It's X. Now the question for you is 1 and 2 here the same as 1 and 2 here?
No.
Why not? Here we can swap, no problem. But here, no. This we have a ranking. Yes or no? On a ordonné les cas. Right? Donc, 1, 2, 3. Et vous avez cette signification mathématique. Yes or no? Donc, the magnitude is there. So here we serve the purposes of ranking. Show a ranking. We call this type of scale, l'échelle l'échelle ordinale. Parce qu'on a quoi? Okay? Voilà, so we call it ordinal scale. Ordinal. Okay? We have mentioned 2 scales. We are left with 2 other scales, and then we will go to practice. Can we clear or not? Very. Sorry. Just imagine, it's good to slow it down. Yes or no? Let's imagine that we have this classroom, for example, the one who is head and shoulders, this lady there, so she's the one who said it, but she was saying it just in joke. Turns out that it's fine. She gets 20 out of 20, fine? And her friend here gets 19 out of 20. And then we have who is the first? The lady. Who is the second? The gentleman. Look at this. Smart. If we have someone, there is no 17, there is no 16, there is no 14, there is a 13. Let's say this gentleman. But it's a good girl anyway. The one who gets 13 is classified as the third. Thank you very much. Now, the point I am making is that in an ordinal scale, number one, the numbers have a mathematical value, have a mathematical significance, not like the categorical variable where you can swap 1 to Samsung, 2 to iPhone, 3 to Huawei, 4 to Redmi, and so forth. Swapping these numbers does not make any one better than the other. And then, we serve these serve the purposes of isolating categories. Here, look, in ranking 1, 2, 3, the number means something. Yes or not? If you are the first. So number 1, the chance of number 1. Yes or no? Because you are the first, you are the first. The little problem with this ordinal scale is that the distance, this is very important. The distance between the points, is not
The same.
necessarily the same.
The same.
Is not necessarily the same. We have 90, 18, and then we have 13, and then we have maybe 7, 6, and then you have 1. There is now, of course, 0. A pure 0. Tu vois pas quoi? Donc, à l'échelle ordinale, les chiffres, la distance entre les points, les points sur l'échelle n'ont pas la même distance. You understand? مثلا يدور ثاني مثال ولكن 20 18 16 So, qu'est-ce qu'on doit retenir من هذا الشيء هذا؟ This has, numbers here have a mathematical value. C'est le premier point. Deuxième point, la distance n'est pas forcément la même. Right? Yes. Okay. And this is corrected with the third one, which we refer to as the interval scale. L'intervalle. L'intervalle. C'est quoi une intervalle? Interval means from this point to this point should be the same as from this point to this point. It's something like that. The difference between ordinal and this scale, which we call interval scale or interval scale, the only difference between the two is that here the numbers may not have the same distance between, or do not have the same distance. But here not. For instance, we have the variable of age, life. One way of doing it is to say 30, 13 and a half, 40, 14 and a half, 14 and 6 months, etc. But another way, une autre façon de le faire, c'est d'avoir ce qu'on appelle des tranches d'âge. Age groups, 1 and only. Okay? Donc, from 15 to 20, from 20 to 25, from 25 to 30, etc. Is the distance between 15 to 20 the same as the distance from 20 to 25? Yes. Yes. Okay? Et c'est pour cela qu'on parle d'une variable, d'une échelle intervalle. Fine. So it's an interval scale. data here. Now, before we go here, what's the problem with this? Picking up document, as we move from number 1 here to number 4, there is a weakness in one that gives us the other. There is a weakness in this. نعم هنا ما كايناش mathematical value. فين هنا هنا كاينه بنحط لي بوان. You know the distance. Thank you very much. It's corrected here. What's the problem with number 3? The problem with number 3 is what we refer to as the absolute zero. Absolute zero. True absolute zero. Absolute zero or a true zero. 0 point. Le zéro في un zéro اللي هو réel ou un zéro اللي هي aléatoire, un zéro qui n'est pas réel. C'est quoi un zéro réel? C'est quoi un zéro qui n'est pas réel? Let's imagine, for example, that we all of us know some Arabic, yes or no? Some standard Arabic. Oh, Arabic Fusha, which we love, and, okay? لغة الضاد. Just imagine that a teacher, a specialist in Arabic grammar, comes and gives us a test here. And he chooses questions that are somehow difficult. And just imagine that some of us, one student gets 12, another student gets 10, another. But just imagine, it's not easy. Yes. Imagine one of us here, or 2 of us, get a 0. What should we do with it? C'est quoi un 0 qui est réel? Est-ce que le 0 indique une absence totale des connaissances en art? Est-ce que quand je vous donne 0 par exemple, est-ce que ça signifie que vous n'avez aucun savoir? Peut-être que ça s'applique au chinois. Maybe. For me, not for some, maybe, not some Chinese. But for me, for example, if I am given a Japanese test and I receive 0, that's معلوم, that will be a true 0. Not in Arabic. How do you say, you know, والفعل الفاعل إلى آخره in grammar? You can produce a sentence which is correct, etc. So the 0 here is not true, it's arbitrary. It's just an indicator of a weak competence, but it does not mean the total absence of what we are after. Do you understand? Another example is temperature, la température. La température. Temperature. Par exemple, 20 is a degree, then you have maybe 5 degrees, and 2 degrees, and 1 degree, then 0 degree, and then you have a minus there. Est-ce qu'on peut dire que 0,2 degrés Celsius est un équivalent à l'absence de la température? Pas forcément. Il y a toujours des températures. Basse, mais c'est température. La qualité qu'on est en train de mesurer est là, toujours. Donc, on a 0, c'est arbitraire. You understand? Yes. Yes. Compare this. شحال عطيتكم l'exemple? The test in Arabic and temperature. Vous avez les 0. Indicate, okay, the absence of the quality of the air. Yeah.
We say that 0 does not indicate a real measurement. I think so, but 20 is the same. Because if we say that one person got 0 in the test,
Yeah.
it's not mean he doesn't know anything in Arabic.
Yes, yes. And if he
He
gets, yeah, thank you.
He got 20.
If he gets 20, does not mean that he knows everything. Okay, here we are talking about a scale where the numbers are just indicators. C'est juste à titre indicatif. C'est juste pour rigoler médiocre result. Thank you. It will not reflect the quality you mentioned. Thanks. That's a very good point, and I agree with you 100%. This weakness in the interval scale does not involve a pure zero, a true zero. Let me give you an example of a variable where the zero is true. You drive, you ride, bicycle, motorbike. Just imagine that the car goes fast. They give you a number per hour, 120, for example. A lower speed is 100, and even lower one is 60, and then we get down. We get down until we have maybe 1 meter per hour. Possible or not possible? Est-ce qu'une voiture peut marcher avec par heure? Est-ce qu'il y a une possibilité? Bien sûr. Yes. Half a meter per hour. Is it possible? Yes, sir. We may even push the car very slowly, and if there is something, there is a little amount, then we need some effort, and then it can go at 10 meters. Sometimes it can be 1 meter, it can be half a meter. That's possible. If it is 0.005 kilometers per hour or meters or whatever, is the car moving?
Yes.
Yes. If it is 0.0001, is it still moving? Yes, theoretically, yes. But when I have 0.00, this only means, logically, the car is not moving. So here, 0 is true. 0 represents the total absence of speed. Compare this with the Arabic language test. 0 get speed, yes or no? So this is the difference between, and same thing with the weight, le poids. What? In terms of kilograms, then in terms of grams, then in terms of milligrams, maybe micrograms, maybe nanograms also. Nanograms, 0.009 nanogram. Is it weight? Yes, there is something. But 0.00 is the total absence of weight. Right? So, the variable where the 0 is a true 0 is referred to as a ratio scale. Ratio scale. Okay? Number 4. That's the last one. Ratio scale. Okay? So these are the different measures. Any one of you who happens to conduct, okay, a quantitative piece of research, my friend?
Sorry?
Any one of you here who conducts, qui mène une recherche comme celle-ci, ok, devrait absolument, ok, rencontrer en moins de ces mesures, de ces échelles. So please know them, and with some practice, you will not have any problem. This is a good preparation for you for your doctorate as well. Good. Do you have questions so far? Do you have questions here? No? Thank you. And now we move to a very quick distinction again between, so here, this distinction between categorical, nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio, these are measurement scales. This is one way of distinguishing different types of variables. These are statistical distinctions for statistical reasons, because the computer, my friends, the computer would like to know what type of variable you have and what measurement are you using, or you are using, what measurement scale you are using. So apart from saying that we have a variable called gender, there is a cell where we see this, place where you need to specify. Is it this? You have to instruct it so that it conducts its operations in the most accurate way possible. Is that fine? So far? Having said this, let's talk about a distinction between two types. Again, another way of distinguishing variables is the relation that they hold, the relationship between the two variables. In a piece of research, some variables can be the ones that influence the other variable. For example, pour social class, la classe sociale, peut avoir un effet sur la préférence de tel ou tel produit. Yes or no? La classe sociale peut avoir un impact sur l'état psychique du consommateur, perhaps. Maybe they don't have enough patience. You know, when they go to a place where they see something attractive, they have to buy it. Right? So, we have some variables that can cause changes on other variables. There are variables that are the origin of the change when it comes to or in relation to the other variables. Let's give an example, a spontaneous example. Let's make this gender, male, female, and maybe the use of a specific type of lotion for the face. Do the boys use that to protect against the sun?
Yeah.
Do the boys use that?
Some.
Yes, they use that or no?
Yeah.
Then, I've never. Do the girls use it?
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Now, just imagine we would like to conduct a piece of research, where we have something like, where we have a question like, do boys and girls differ in their knowledge of the components or the ingredients, okay, or the components, the components of a specific, of a lotion, of a famous lotion? You see? You understand me? What is the hypothesis? What do we expect normally? Who will know better, males or females, about la composante? Normally females. Normally, but this needs research. Okay? Good. So here, if we hypothesize that females will know better about lotions than females. Sorry, females will know better than males about lotions. How many variables do we have here? Combien de variables? شنو هما four? Yeah. We have. So we have males and females. Do they form a variable or not? What is it? Gender. Gender. We have knowledge there. Gender and knowledge. Okay, if we have a difference in knowledge, one category is receives the score of 10 in their knowledge, but the other category receives the score of 17. We conclude that gender has an impact on knowledge. Yes or no? It causes a change in knowledge. So here we have two technical terms to introduce, please. So on a la différence entre deux types de variables. La variable qu'on appelle une variable dépendante, it's a dependent variable, and the independent variable. How many of you do not know the difference between the dependent and the independent variable? How many of you don't know? So you know. My dear. Okay. So very quickly, the dependent variables, some people are confusing, confuse these variables. So the dependent variable is the one that receives a change. The independent variable is the one that does not change. Then, with this, I break this first part to a clause, let's move to SPSS. Okay. It's fine now. Okay, you have Spss installed there? How many of you have Spss installed on their computers? 1, 2, just 2. 3, very good, very good. Yeah. So please try to have some hands-on experience on this. Let me go with that one here. Okay. Okay, this is look. For the there are a number of software that we can use for statistical analysis. It just happens that SPSS is the most famous. There are so many others, like there is one called R. One called R. You've never heard of that?
Transform descriptive data to measured data.
Yeah, but they differ minimally, but they do the same job of analyzing. They can do all sorts of analysis. Okay. I don't know whether this does not. You cannot have the data here. I didn't know. I've never used it. You don't know the same R. I don't know. There is another one. There is another one called Amos. There is another one called Amos. And R and Amos are fused the RK here and it gave you Amos. That's my name. It's just an accident, okay. Never mind. So I'm going to use this SPSS software because it's the one that enjoys the widespread popularity, okay, among researchers. It looks like you are playing. Are you? No. Then why are you talking? We are private conversation here. We have not started this yet. That's why. Nice. Okay. So let's start. Once you have installed the software on your computer and activated it, you will click on the icon, and then you will have this page here, which looks much similar to an Excel sheet, right? The most important first step on the software, is these two tabs. Okay, it's fine. Let me read it out for you. It's fine. What do we have here? Variable view. What do we have here? Data view. Okay? So I can switch between data view and variable view, data. You can play with this for some time. Variable view, data. Very good. Nice. Yes, we have two ways of doing this. If you have three existing data that you have worked on SPSS, you can import it the way you do this on Word or Excel, or just import the file. Right. But if you are starting from scratch, you start from zero. If you are starting from scratch. This means that you need to enter your data case by case or manual. Right? Now, before we do anything, we need to tell the computer about our variables. We have to tell the computer, hello, Mr. Computer, these are the variables that I would like to analyze. And then I will enter the data later on. Fine? So what to do here? To go to the variable view, and these default numbers that you see here, the shift par default. They are integrated in the software. And these, since we have variable view, my friends, since we have variable view, these refer to the number of variables. And the number here is theoretically infinite. Théoriquement, c'est infini. Because the software can be used by a student who analyzes gender and something else, or maybe the consumer and social class and consumption and a certain behavior anyway. Okay? But it can also be used by international organizations that study, phenomena at the world level, à l'échelle internationale. So if it's a big study, a large study, then we are expecting the number of variables to be, too big. Okay? That's why we have these numbers. And we are not supposed to keep all of these, because we will not deal with an infinite number of variables. So here we go to the number 2 first, to number 1. Look at this, my friends. Let's take a variable like phone type, or type of phone, or let's call it phone type. I don't want to use gender for a reason that you will know right now. Because gender is one word. And type of phone, we have 3 words. علاش ما اخترتش gender? Because gender, this cell has لا cellule هذه, had لا cellule, this cell. That cell is where we give a name to our variable. But unfortunately, it does not accept any character. For instance, the apostrophe is not accepted. The space is not accepted. You see? A word has to be. Okay. So if I write gender, it will accept it. Look at this. Accept, variable. Why? It's fine. It has accepted. Can we see it here?
Yes.
But let me write, for example, what did I say? Type of phone. Look at this. Like this. When I hit OK, it will say, no, you are not allowed. This is an illegal character. Variable name contains an illegal character. Why? Why do they think about this? The answer is that sometimes a variable can have a very long name, and it becomes very confusing. So the computer would like to have, a variable with a light name, with a light enough name, so that it can proceed well with the presentation and also with the. Look at this. So when I say type of phone, we can invent an acronym. For example, look at this. I can write type. Look at this. This is invented. One way of doing it. Okay, so I hit OK. What is illegal about it? Maybe the capital. That's fine. Yes, that's capital. Is that fine here?
Yeah.
So the first step for the variable is the variable view here. The first number is for the first variable. Here we have the second variable. We may have a third, a fourth, etc. We will come to this. So let's take these two variables. What type of variables are they first? What what type of variables are they? They are categorical, they are nominal. So when we use a number here, do these numbers have mathematical value? No. We use numbers just to isolate, but we have to tell the computer. You see? So we have to inform our computer that this variable is only nominal. Please do not take these numbers into consideration. Okay? Just use them to isolate. Okay? So what we do is, so we will come to this information. So for the type, it's numeric because it has to do with numbers. Width, these are default, pas default, width means the cell, would you like to have the cell like this, or would you like the cell to be big if you have a long number? Generally, I will tell you why we need to keep it in social sciences in general. We keep it, we keep the default number. Decimals, my friends, it's very important. Decimal. What is decimal? Decimal means the number is decimal. Yes, sometimes you have a number like in the calculator, for instance, we give you, see, number that is too long. What we do is, specifically in this type of science, in social science in general, we take into account only 2 digits after the decimal. 2 numbers after the comma. Yes.
We said that both the gender and the type of form are nominal. But what if we have like the relationship between gender and the type of form? For example, if female is
Yeah, I'm not saying. Okay, wait a minute. Thank you for that point. Yes, I can do. Gender, you have to have these 3 numbers. I'm talking more about the decimal there. I am introducing the rubric decimal. Forget about these numbers for the most transferring. Okay? So decimal, it means if there is a decimal for these variables that we have later, like grade, like income, like okay? مثلا واحد طالع ديالو المرات وخمسين بعيد منهم فاصلة 3 4 إلى آخره. Maybe you have not other numbers. It can be anything. Anyway, any هذه الشيء هذا لازم فاصلة 4 على 3 You are asking the computer to delete what comes after the 2 numbers after the decimal. You are asking the computer You are asking the computer to keep just this. Decimals, you have 2 numbers after the comma. Et on arrondit. Plus loin. Là, les clous, on peut arrondir. فاصلة مثلا 0.7. Okay, well, let's move to the other rubric, which is label. لاحظوا معايا هنا عندنا name. Here we have label. Name, label. Name, it has to come in the form of one word. If our variable has 3 or 4 words, we need to lump them together. But here we have the opportunity to write the variable in its full name. For example, I can, and a gender is okay. Let's come here, for example, type, look at this. Look at this, type of phone. It's like you are giving a code to the computer, and you are reminding yourself and the computer that this code refers to, this variable. Is that fine? Nice. Okay, now values, my friends. Values. Values, the value function is used basically with nominal and ordinal state variables. تستعمل في nominal وفي ordinal. Thank you. I don't have this. You say how?
No.
Repeat? Okay, good. So, values, normal value. That's true. Let's take the basic variable which is gender. Yeah. Gender, شو فيها الفرق؟ فيها male, female, yes or no? We said that we need, because the computer understands the language of numbers only. Donc 1 to male, 2 to female. هذول sont des niveaux ديال les variables. Ok? Les valeurs اللي عندنا فوق الفاريابل. الجهة شنو فيها؟ فيها 1 2 phone type فيها سامسونج مثل 1 Redmi 2 iPhone 3 etc. Yes or no? Yes. Is what you do. So, for gender, look at this. We open, I repeat, for value, look at this. I click here, and I have these 3 dots, and then, okay, let me repeat it. I go to the 3 dots here, I click, and then I have value, la valeur. مثلا on a dit que واحد مثلا for male, okay, and I write male, and I say add. So from now on, for the computer, 1 is the synonym of male. You got the point? Okay. 2 to female. You don't want to cut the 0 for female. 2 to female. Right? And then I hit OK. Do you understand? We may have more. For example, phone type. Let's do it for phone types. Look, I click here. Again, 1 for Samsung. 2 iPhone, yes. 3 etc. Okay, Nokia and Nokia keys. Yes or no? Yeah. You don't remember these things. Generation Okay, that's very good. You are so surprised because you have made effort. At this young age, you become master students. Really nice. No problem here. For missing, sometimes in a questionnaire, for example, we have 20 questions, but some students decide to answer only 17 questions. So we say the number of questions that are missing here. So we write it in missing. Okay, you write missing, or you write no missing values, discrete missing values, and then, okay, you fill in the information here, but there is another way. That's the way I do it myself. If this happens, just imagine that your target is maybe 70 maybe questionnaires to be answered. Normally you need to distribute 80. So that you will have the opportunity to discard all the questionnaires are not complete and you deal with only the one to answer. That's one way of doing it. The best. Otherwise we report the missing values here. For the column, here this is much like width, and these are different values, sorry, these are default values that we have here. You can choose to reduce or or to augment it, but leave it. These are things, for the type, the width, and the column, usually they are default, par default. The most important thing is the name, the values, even the label you can do without the label if you wish. If you know, for example, about your variable. And if it's a nominal scale variable, you really need to determine these values. Align means it's visually whether you would like it to be right aligned or left aligned, no problems with that. And then measure, my friend, look at this. This is very important. Are you following?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, for the measure, look at what it gives us. It gives us nominal. If it is nominal, we say it's nominal. So one of the most important pieces of information that the computer needs to know is whether your variable is nominal or ordinal. It's one of these. Okay? So we have nominal. We may have ordinal. Okay? For the last two, that is to say, the interval scale and the ratio scale, both of them are scale variables. الاختلاف بينهم غير zero. Fine? Donc هنايا إذا كان عندي ratio or interval, I call it scale. هكذا. That's low case هنايا. You see the icon. So we have honest. In reality, we have 4. On SPSS, we have 3 because the third and the fourth are lumped under this head. These are the basic information that you need to fill, in your computer. Basic information. Is that okay, my friend? Let's try, yes, please. The what? The label and the decimal. Thanks. Have you heard your friend's question?
Yeah.
He said yes because the one who asked you. Okay. For the label, let's imagine that I have a variable like the master's student's city of origin. How many words do I have here? The master avec un apostrophe, the student, okay. Okay, the master, let's put it without it. Anyway, the master student's city of origin. This cannot be admitted here, because in this rubric, the software would like to see just one block. Usually better a short block. So what we can do with this name, Master Student City of Origin, is MA, for example, MA, City Origin, for example. MAST for student, City Origin, and then we have the another one. The label is the place where we have the full freedom to write our full name. Donc là, the master, student, city of origin, and even a longer. For the decimal, my friend, for the decimal, you just tell the computer, and it depends on what you are after. If you want to be, if you are interested in the very small numbers after the comma, you see, la poussière, okay? Then no problem. You can write 4 or شحال بغيتي من رقم ورا فاصلة. هي عادة في العلوم الاجتماعية كنختاروا غير الأرقام ورا الفاصلة. On ignore le reste parce que c'est tellement minime. Et notre raison, c'est que la statistique, c'est une science de probabilité. C'est pas exact, c'est pas les maths. Les maths sont exactes. Mais la statistique, c'est relatif. Right? Good. Voilà. Is that fine, my friend? Here? ناخذ une autre variable comme de différents types. Yeah? Hein? Revenus. Yes, income. Then, income. Thank you. Let's take income. Do we have a problem here? No. Income is one word. How? Income. So, type numeric with the same decimal خليها جزئية. Label. Now, do I income ولا income of the employee or employee's income ولا income? How do you? Huh? Yeah. My friends, I need your attention here, please. For values, les valeurs, les كتشوفوا هنايا هما هادو كيصلحوا للفاريابل اللي هي nominal والordinal. الآخرين ما فيهمش values. علاش؟ Parce que هنايا في income on n'a pas affaire à des catégories. Income c'est continu, c'est une échelle. Ça commence de maybe 3000, 3500. That march. You understand or not? إذا شنو نديرو الفاليوز هذه؟ شنو تسمى الفاليوز؟ It's not like gender, it's not like physical origin, sometimes the city where you got from, maybe a person's religion, a person's eye color, a person's preferred civilization, etc. Exactement, c'est une classique. Thank you very much. C'est pour ça qu'on dit que c'est pour des raisons, for classificatory reasons. Thank you very much. Yes, exactly. Mais income non. Donc, on n'a pas besoin de toucher à la value. On sort. Bon. Quand il s'agit d'une échelle intervalle, on n'a pas besoin d'écrire que le value. Donc là, mais il ne faut pas oublier, spécifier donc il faut dire scale. Is that okay? Good. On fait la même chose pour, il y a une variable, if we have a variable which is ordinal scale, first, second, third, fourth, on fait la même chose à gender. Number one, first, number two, second, number two, three, etc. Le questionnaire, on a une échelle, l'échelle de Likert. Have you ever heard of this? Sullivan Likert, okay? On l'utilise pour mesurer la fréquence. Souvent, parfois, jamais. Mais il y a le nombre des choix, attention, le nombre des choix devrait être impair. Impair. Comme ça, c'est pas. À l'âge. Parce que si ce n'est pas impair, on risque de ne pas avoir un point au milieu. Pour avoir deux à gauche et l'autre à droite. Ok? Par exemple, l'échelle est agreement. Agreement, on a fortement d'accord, là, hautement, fortement, ok, d'accord, et puis on a d'accord, et puis on a neutre, ok? Pas d'accord, pas du tout d'accord. Donc on a neutre, c'est la position où on a deux à gauche et deux à droite. Pour la médiane, très bien. Very good, yeah. Thank you very much. They know statistics very well.
They're very good
Wow.
students, and I love
That's
it.
really good. Good. Voilà. So we specify this for scale. Can we have a quick example here?
So,
Yes.
so, how about the role? Is it par défaut?
Which one?
Role, the role.
The roles.
Leave it as it is. Yeah. Why do I say that certain rubrics need not to be touched? Because the software is not used by people like us only. It's predict about stock exchange, it's used by doctors, it's used by. So we talk about only the ones that we. a variable. Let's take let's take 20 students from this class. Aléatoire. No? Let's now tell the computer how many males we have and how many females. I tell you. We go now. Donc, là, c'est juste pour définir, spécifier les variables. Hein? Donc, c'est pour les variables. شنو هما سميت لا فاريابل شنو هو لي نيفو ديالو شنو هو لو تيب الى اخره. Fine? Alors, now we go to data view. Data view. When we open this page, we will find that the software has memorized what the information we gave it, and that it has prepared a nice sheet, a paper for us, nice sheet where we need to enter the data. أنا نمشي هنايا مثلا نلقى زوج ديال هادشي. Okay? Il y a une chose à corriger هنايا. Gender c'est pas scale, c'est nominal. Yes or no? Head type c'est nominal aussi. So I go here, look at this. ونعملوا دابا مثلا هادو شكون voyez هنايا. Ce sont les cas. Les questionnaires par exemple, les réponses qu'on a, surtout le questionnaire ou là le test ou la ok. Donc premier cas, c'est-à-dire premier étudiant هنايا نشوفوا gender. نبداو من هنا مثلا في M ياك شحال عطينا الام واحد ولا جوج؟ هو قبل واحد ها هو عندي بنت هنايا دونك جوج بنت ولد then كيف تقول alors bent oui and then bent and then ولد اوكي on fait comme ça نعملوا هكا ولكن ما ديروش هكا don't do it this way. شوف 212 12 Non, juste pour vous donner un exemple. Yeah? Voilà. Now I have, because I have already told my computer that number 1 is for male and number 2 is female, in this variable, this gender variable, I have to specify each student. How can I know that I did it the correct way? It's when I go here. Get you what I can have? Je fais A, et 1. Quand je clique ici, ça me donne ça. It means that the computer has successfully memorized, okay, instructions given by the researcher. Notice please that we should not expect the computer to correct our mistakes. Un faux départ, des faux résultats. من الخدمة. You know this expression as it is? Ah, ça, je vais voir sa version du proverbe. Vous dites quoi? Ça, that's very good. Nice. Okay. So, the computer should be fed with the right information. And there needs to be some thinking before we enter our data. Otherwise, if we give the computer garbage, as they say, if you give the computer garbage, you will get garbage. What she معروف اسمه gigo effect. Gigo effect. ماشي gigo ديال it's the gigo effect. يقربها Gigo effect. Gigo c'est un acronyme ديال garbage in يعني إذا عطينا الgarbage للكمبيوتر ما غاديش يصح لنا كلنا. It will give us garbage. If we give it correct information, we will get correct information. Yes, garbage in, garbage out. Okay. نمشيو للإنكم مثلا. I for type on linear polynomial. مثلا بحكي لنا excuse me, for the young ladies and gentlemen here, just imagine, I wish you all the best in this regard. If you have not had a job yet, I wish you good luck. You deserve, by the way. So just imagine that there is that you work, you have a part-time job, and we would like to know who gets paid better than the other, the boys or the girls. You got the point or no? Let's imagine that the payment is by the hour. Usually part-time jobs are by the hour. Yes or no? Yeah. So let's specify, let's hide this. You know, let's invent data. Ignorer. Yes? لو كان الأول مثلا أعطيني أشيف per hour. 100 يلا. Nice. 100. Oh, it's not here. Sorry. Not here. مثلا هنا. Yep. وتوجد. ممكن هنا 100 درهم. مثلا 110, 120, 150. Attention, ما تديروش هكذا. Don't invent it. It should be based on the responses that you get.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have 75. Here, my conclusion. Maybe as researchers, our topic, for example, let's imagine a topic from your specialization. Our topic is to discuss the issue of negotiation. Who has better negotiation skills? Yes? Salary negotiation skills. Is it males or females? Oh, so we have two guests here. You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Nice. Alors, so let's imagine that we are after, or our topic is about negotiation or salary negotiation skills. And we would like to see whether males are better than females in negotiations or vice versa. And if we assume that this can be reflected in the salary that they are given, or in the wage, that they are given in return for their hourly work. Right? So we have 77, help me please. What is that? No. Oh, no. Let's imagine that we have these, okay? Okay, now. As you can see, this variable will come with this icon of the scale of processing. You have numbers here that are not like these numbers. Here you have just two relative for classification reasons. Here no. Here we have the substance. So where is the dependent variable here and where is the independent variable? La variable dépendante, c'est le genre, gender. وهذه c'est la variable? Non. Yeah. So, independent, la variable indépendante, c'est la variable qui est la source du changement, qui a un impact, qui a la cause. La variable dépendante, c'est la variable qui subit le changement en fonction de l'autre variable. You understand? The income, so changing from male to female, we change the number here. When we changing the number, the salary does not change from male to female. That's impossible. Okay? Donc, même la variable dépendante, c'est le résultat. Souvent le résultat. But sometimes, it does not mean, look at this, it does not mean, however, that in all our research, our variables have to be, one should be dependent, some should be dependent, some should be dependent. Not always. See? For example, when I want to measure your motivation and your anxiety, or your motivation, I said, your motivation and your leadership, maybe skills or whatever. Anyway, let's choose two variables here. Motivation math?
Attitudes.
Attitude. Oh, that's very good. That's a very good illustration. Motivation and your attitude. Can we speak? Now, si on a, par exemple, si l'hypothèse gagnante, if our hypothesis is that there is a relationship or a relation between attitude and motivation, est-ce que ça veut dire que l'attitude a une influence, exerce une influence sur la motivation ou vice-versa? Donc, là, les deux variables, elles ont le même statut. À l'âge, parce qu'on n'est pas en train d'analyser l'impact. C'est juste la relation. Quand deux éléments sont en relation, c'est-à-dire qu'ils sont, égaux. They are treated on an equal footing. Donc là, on ne peut pas parler d'une variable dépendante et d'une variable indépendante. Le design corrélationnel. Parce que dans les corrélations, les deux variables très bien. La régression, c'est une autre histoire. Okay? I hope Nabila will organize a second meeting where we can talk about inferential statistics and how we can explore these basic information. This is just an introductory session, and maybe 2 hours may not be enough to cover everything. So Nabila, I rely on you to organize another meeting where we can come and share more with maybe companies just for your field. Okay. Applause one way of encouraging me because I said something, or is it an announcement that this is over? Like that, I stand here for you? No? What are you doing? You wanted to say something? Okay. I hope you have got some basic elements here that might be. I promise I will come whenever you need me, for the second part, which is probably impression. Thank you very much.
And I hope you enjoyed that.
Is it fine? How do we stop this, Nabila? How do we stop this?
Stop what?
Maybe like this. Okay, that's fine. It's